What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the latest episode of The Layup.Line. My name is Dolos, and if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe so you're getting notified about new videos. Also check out my social media pages to get inside looks at upcoming videos as well as reactions to live games and transactions. But with that out the way, I do just want to say that I am so grateful for the reaction to the first Oklahoma City video that I did. It performed really well. It's one of the best videos on my channel to this point. So really just a huge thank you to everyone who watched it, everyone who liked it, shared, commented, all of that stuff. That is really just key to getting a YouTube channel to grow. So thank you all for that so much. Like I promised, I am back with another episode. This time to profile a bit more closely the current faces of the Thunder's rebuild. I'm going to do these tiering videos occasionally as we see changes to the roster, just to kind of rank guys into the tiers that I think they belong on, based on my own personal evaluations, which I acknowledge can be biased, so I am very open to comments respectfully disagreeing about the importance of any given player that I've discussed or ranked in a tier. Starting with the top tier, I just have one guy in this untouchable future pieces tier, and that's SHAI GILGEOUS-ALEXANDER. SGA is coming off an all-star caliber season, and he's only 22. He was the headline return of the Paul George trade in my opinion, and he's the guy that the team should be building around. He's a huge, crafty guard and a solid defender. I don't want to rant too long about SGA in order to make time for the other guys that I will be talking about, but GILGEOUS-ALEXANDER will quite literally be the face of this rebuild, so I will have plenty of opportunities to discuss just how good he is. Moving on to the next tier, which was a lot more interesting to decide for me. I'm considering these players important building blocks of Oklahoma City's rebuild. They aren't untouchable, but they have flashed enough potential that I think the team is unlikely to move them, and I see them as solid starters or contributors to the team when it has been rebuilt. The first name up in this tier is also an obvious one after Luguentz Dort's 30-point Game 7. I wouldn't be surprised if some fans think that he should be in the first tier. Dort may end up there in a season, with the offensive developments that he's been able to make since entering the league. Dort joined an OKC team as an undrafted player. He signed a two-way contract, and yet he was a starter for the team in that first season, and they managed to be a 5th seed in 2020. He's shown that he's a worker, and that alone gives him great upside, as only being 22, Dort is solid and will soon be one of the league's best perimeter stoppers if he isn't there already. He is the kind of defensive player that teams really need in the playoffs. He's switchable and smart, and he plays with so much energy and life that it's really easy to see how he became such a fan favorite. Offense is holding him back from ranking higher. Despite the growth that we saw in his skills, on balance he shot poorly from the field, and the three isn't a reliable weapon for him yet. Next up in this tier, I have Darius Bazley. Bazley is a 21-year-old athletic combo forward. I can see an argument that maybe he should go in the tier under this. He's thin and the shot making can come and go with him. It's also hard to be a wing player without a reliable jumper, so this may be my own personal bias for Darius, but when he flashes his potential, it has been brilliant enough that I think he should be in this tier. A player at his size with his scoring ability, in my opinion, that just screams sub-all-star upside. There are games where the shooting touch on his jumpers and floaters looks impeccable. He does need to fill out the frame, but a 6'8" wing with a long wingspan fits into what the modern NBA is looking for on defense. Long and switchable. In a small ball lineup against the right opponent, he can get minutes at the center, which is very intriguing to me because he's quick and shifty enough to attack big men on the perimeter. Bulking up and offensive consistency in the next season will determine if Bazley ever goes up a tier or if he ultimately falls into the one below this. The last player in this tier, I may also be giving him a bit too much credit, but I do have Théo Maledon. Maledon was an early second round pick out of France, and he is another huge guard at 6'4", 6'5". Lineups with this size allows for so much switchability. I just can't help but be a fan. Maledon was a bit below league average 3-point shooting, but on solid volume, which is promising for only his rookie year. This could be another 3-and-D guard in a league that's generally light on that kind of player. He makes the extra pass, and although turnovers and efficiency were bad, I'm cutting him some slack because he was a rookie point guard. Finally getting to the last tier that I have, which is also the biggest. I call it boom or bust. In almost every rebuild, you have some unexpecteds. Guys with some potential and promise that could hopefully someday contribute to the winning team, but they also have enough weaknesses in their game that it wouldn't be a surprise if the team moves on from them or if they're out of the rotation. I'm going to breeze through a few more important players in this tier, but it's the largest and where I put pretty much the rest of the roster. The first name that I have in this category is also a popular one, ALEKSEJ POKUSEVSKI. I totally understand why some people are very high on him. Some of you might even want him in the tier above this because with his size and shooting and passing flashes that he's displayed, it's pretty awe-inspiring. I like to be realistic though, and there is a reason that he was sent to play in the G League bubble. He's the youngest player in the entire league and he's supremely thin for his position. Until Poku adds some weight and strength to play against NBA level size, I'm more comfortable ranking him in this tier. Also in this tier, there is the mid-season acquisition GABRIEL. Gabriel is 25, so he's on the older side, and he was acquired from Europe where he was an accomplished player overseas, but he was also just signed for financial reasons in order for the team to hit the salary floor required. They did sign him long-term with some non-guarantees in the final 2 years of the deal, which is why I am mentioning him. It could boom and work out like a Bogdanovic type, but we have also seen the likes of Milos Teodosic and Sergio Rodriguez come to the NBA and flame out. I also feel the need to mention JEROME, who is in this tier. Ty was a throw-in from Phoenix in the Chris Paul trade, but he has become a well-liked member of the team and a three-point sniper. Another one of their larger guards and a guy with a lot of success at the college level. He can be a bigger part of the rotation as soon as next season, I think. The last player that I'm going to mention in this boom or bust tier is ROBY. I just view him more as an energy big. He understands the shots the team wants him to take, and if there is some development with the three, he possesses an interesting small ball option. Honorable mentions for boom or bust are Tony Bradley, Kenrich Williams, Svi Mykhailiuk, but that's all I have for you today. Thank you for making it to the end of this one. Subscribe to stay notified when new videos are out. Like and comment because it really does help the channel grow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.